For many companies, the strategy development process can be seen as something that they do every few years or once a year. So it happens at certain times. It also happens with a smaller group of people. Or they might hire a consulting company to develop their strategy and they receive a beautiful set of slides with fancy graphics and charts and so forth. However, in a way, once that strategy is developed, it kind of goes and sits on the shelves and collects dust. Welcome back to Agile Growth with Shri, where CEOs and business owners find insights to take their business to the next level. This is the 5th video in my 6-part video series on the 5 most common mistakes in strategy that I see CEOs, business owners, and entrepreneurs make. In my last video, I discussed the 3rd mistake, which is the strategy is a secret. Now let's focus on the 4th mistake, which is your strategy does not get translated into disciplined and sustained action. In this video, I'll do 3 things. I'll talk about the 4th mistake that I see. We'll get into why this happens, and then I'll give you some ideas on what you can do about it. Your strategy will define where you play and how you win. And you will do this by performing different activities from your competitors or performing similar activities in different ways. Clearly, your strategy can deliver value only if it is translated into action. This is the link between strategy and execution. This is also about how you make trade-offs and how you deliberately say no to certain things because they don't fit with your strategy. Jim Collins, who is one of my favorite authors, who has written books like Good to Great, Great by Choice, Built to Last, How the Mighty Fail, and Be 2.0, and in my opinion has done some of the best research on what it takes to build enduring businesses. So through his research, Jim Collins says that it comes down to 4 things: disciplined people, disciplined thought, disciplined action, and building to last. So let's say you engage in disciplined thought and you engage in an effective strategy development process, but that is not followed by disciplined action, you're not going to get great results. Great companies don't just stop with creating great strategies to win, they ensure that the strategy turns into sustained and disciplined action. Let's now take a look at why this happens. For many companies, the strategy development process can be seen as something that they do every few years or once a year. So it happens at certain times. It also happens with a smaller group of people. Or they might hire a consulting company to develop their strategy and they receive a beautiful set of slides with fancy graphics and charts and so forth. However, in a way, once that strategy is developed, it kind of goes and sits on the shelves and collects dust until the next time they have their planning session and they say, hey, let's revisit our strategy and see what we need to do. As you can tell, that is not a very effective way to go about it. The other thing that I've noticed is the strategy does not get translated into clear actions deep enough in the organization. This can be problematic for any organization because the good intentions that they have to their strategy don't necessarily translate into sustained results. Here are a few ideas on what are some steps you can take to fix this problem. The first one is you need to identify your 3 HAG. Now that's a term coined by my friend and mentor Shannon Byrne-Susko, who is the author of The Metronome Effect, 3 HAG Way, and Metronomics. 3 HAG stands for your 3-year highly achievable goal. Now this is different from BHAG, which is taken as a 10 to 20-year vision by Jim Collins, and he kind of describes it as your big, hairy, audacious goal. With the BHAG, you're thinking really long-term, 10, 20 years out. With the 3 HAG, you're thinking about where do you need to be in 3 years from now. And you would describe that in terms of where do you need to be in terms of your top line revenue, your bottom line profits, cash in the bank, and maybe a couple of other widgets which are unique to your business and your industry. You would then develop your 3-year differentiators and then work on your annual priorities and then your quarterly plans. So once you have your 3 HAG, you would then work on your 3-year differentiators. How does your company need to be different in 3 years from now? That will then help you identify your annual priorities, is what do you have to accomplish in a year from now. You would then translate that into your quarterly priorities. What do you have to get done in the next 90 days? And that'll then define your monthly priorities and then gives you your weekly action plan. So by doing this process of having your BHAG, 3HAG, your annual priorities, your quarterly priorities, and then your monthly and weekly plan, you're being able to translate your strategy into discipline and sustained action. The other thing that is really important is that you have the right set of metrics and a scoreboard. Without both of these things in place, you will struggle in being able to translate your strategy into discipline and sustained action. Because if you think about it, sustained results come from a good strategy and disciplined action. One without the other is not enough. I want to wish you the very best in bringing your strategy to life. Thanks for watching. Please leave your questions and feedback in the comment section. See you in my next video, which is going to talk about the fifth mistake, which is lacking strategic agility.